Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you an update on some transfer news. So according to The Athletic, we have cooled our interest in Dayot Upamecano because we don't consider him as a priority now. Bayern Munich are now leading the race. Bayern Munich are seeing Upamecano as a long-term replacement for David Alaba or Jerome Boateng. He is available for around £38 million at the end of the current season, because that's when his release clause does become active. Earlier on this season, Upamecano said that it's very likely he will leave RB Leipzig next summer. He said earlier on this season that Liverpool were interested in him because obviously Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk out with a serious injury. Think he could be out for the rest of the season. They've obviously got Joe Gomez out. They had Andrew Robinson out at one point, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's just come back not so long ago. Upamecano has been at RB Leipzig now for a good 3 years or so. He's under contract with them until 2023. RB Leipzig paid just £7 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. And don't forget, last season RB Leipzig got to the Champions League semi-final. But yet he is a centre-half, and Man United have been in search for a centre-half because we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. And I think our defence is one of the problems at the club because we've been behind in so many games this season. So yeah. He is only the age of 22, by the way, so he's still young and he has got a lot of development in him. Now, I want to delve into some news on Jadon Sancho. So, recent events at Borussia Dortmund may have handed Manchester United a transfer boost for Jadon Sancho. Dortmund have just recently sacked Lucien Favre. Dortmund lost 5-1 at home to Stuttgart on Saturday. And I think they've only won one of their last 5 games, so they have been very poor recently. I think Edin Terzic, or however you pronounce his name, has taken over as caretaker manager until the end of the season. Now, Sancho made an admission earlier on this season saying that it has been hard for him at Borussia Dortmund this season. Now, during the summer transfer window, he was our number 1 priority target. The main explanation why we didn't get Sancho during the summer transfer window is because Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. I think we was only willing to pay like 60 or 70 million pounds up front with the rest in add-ons. But it did say during the summer transfer window that, the agent fees had been agreed, the personal terms and that had been agreed, but we couldn't come to an agreement on an actual fee with Dortmund. And, Fabrizio Romano, obviously he's reliable. He's spoken about the Sancho saga quite a few times during the summer. So too did Bill's Christian Falk. And Sancho said a few times during the summer that he wanted to come to Manchester United. Dortmund did set a deadline until the 10th of August, don't forget. But we failed to meet that deadline, so obviously Sancho ended up staying at Borussia Dortmund. I think there is a good chance that we could sign him in January, or, we could sign him next summer. This is Jadon Sancho's 4th season now with Borussia Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he has been very consistent. I think it's only been this season he hasn't been so good. I think he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023, is it? Dortmund only paid £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. He did enjoy a couple of years at Man City, but the main explanation he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. But Sebastian Kell and Michael Zorg did say during the summer, don't forget, that Sancho will stay at Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, we have been looking at a few alternatives to him. So that's the breaking news on him. Now, I want to delve into some news on Christian Eriksen. Now, it says that Man United are interested in a shock transfer for Christian Eriksen. Inter Milan are looking to offload him. Christian Eriksen has been at Inter Milan almost a year. Inter Milan got him back in January from Tottenham. They paid around £17 million. He's got a contract with Inter Milan until 2024. And he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. But he is versatile because he's played as a right winger before. He's played as a left winger. He's also played as a secondary striker. And I think he is in his late 20s. We was in for Christian Eriksen when he was at Ajax. That's where he began his career. Christian Eriksen did endure 7 years with Tottenham, didn't he? He made over 200 appearances for them in the Premier League and scored around 51 goals. So he's well proven in the Premier League. I think Inter Milan do want around £27 million for him. Now, recent reports have also said that Inter Milan are considering a swap deal with Arsenal involving Christian Eriksen and Granit Xhaka. And do you know what? Do you think Christian Eriksen would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba at Man United? Some Man United fans don't think he would be the right player to come in. So that is the latest on the transfer news. Obviously, next year, we are going to get rid of players. So we're going to focus on the outgoings as well as the incomings, because he's still deadwood in the squad. Now, like I've said, I think we'll get rid of Jesse Lingard next year. I think we'll also get rid of Phil Jones. I think we'll also get rid of Marcus Rojo. I think we'll also get rid of Sergio Romero because Sergio Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper. I think there's a good chance Matic could leave next year because he's so inconsistent. Mata could leave the football club next year. Daniel James could possibly leave because Daniel James has now lost his place in the team, and when he has been playing, he has been out of form. A few weeks ago, there was talks that Brandon Williams could go out on loan next year because he's our third choice left back now following the arrival of Alex Telles. And earlier on this season, there was rumours of Dean Henderson going out on loan in January. And obviously, a lot of United fans are expecting Paul Pogba to leave next year. Now, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will still be Manchester United manager in the new year. There's a possibility, a chance he could still be Man United manager at the end of the season. And obviously, Ed Woodward has come out quite a few times to support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think during the summer transfer window, Solskjaer was not backed enough by the board. But none of our managers have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and this is one of the main explanations why the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, and obviously our recruitment policy has been very, very poor. I think eventually Solskjaer will get sacked, just not at this present time. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino has been the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the football club. Like I've said, I think, Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer. Main explanations is because Pochettino's well Premier League proven. He's also dealt with top players and his philosophy is good. And I think if Pochettino came to Man United, he would suit the strappings of the club. More than likely, if he came in, he'd demand the director of football because, like I've said, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. And I think he'd want to bring players like Harry Kane in and Dele Alli. He'd want to reunite with them if he came to Manchester United with Pochettino. My only element of concern about Pochettino is not won anything in terms of silverware, but he did recently say he would take the job at Manchester United right now if it was offered to him. He's been linked with a few clubs, he's been linked with Real Madrid, he's been linked with Zenit St. Petersburg, he's been linked with Barcelona, he's been linked with Manchester City a couple of times. But he's been managerless for over a year. And he appeared on Monday Night Football earlier on this season. He said that he is missing football and he's ready for a return to management. Manchester Evening News said earlier on this season that we approached Mauricio Pochettino over replacing Solskjaer. He's managed 3 clubs so far in his managerial career. Obviously, managed Espanyol, Southampton and Tottenham. Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. But last year he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. He guided them to the League Cup final and he got them to 2 FA Cup semi-finals. Obviously at Southampton, he guided them to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era, but he did endure a very short tenure with Southampton. Now, obviously, it's not only been Pochettino on our agenda. Obviously, earlier on this season, Julian Nagelsmann was on our agenda. So too was Massimiliano Allegri. He's been on our agenda a few times. And reports from Germany said the other week we could make a move for Thomas Tuchel if we sack Solskjaer in the next few weeks. But not all of the blame stems from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, reflecting on our inconsistency. Obviously there's certain players that have got to take responsibility, like I've already mentioned. But I just think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is way out of his depth at the football club. His decision-making really concerns me because he's made too many mistakes in a lot of games. And I just don't think he's got that proven pedigree as a manager. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Obviously before he came to us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but Molde are a big club. And obviously before then he was at Cardiff and he endured a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. He got sacked from Cardiff because he ended up getting them relegated, But Ollie at the football club has obviously got to identify his best 11 because I don't think he knows his best 11. He's obviously got to solve the Paul Pogba issue. He's obviously got to select the right formation. You can say he has learned quite a bit, reflecting how long he's been at the club now. Solskjaer's been Man United manager now for 2 years, is it? I think his 2-year anniversary is coming up very, very soon. And he's got a contract with Man United until 2022. Now, I can assure he won't see out his contract at the football club. Now, a few weeks ago, he was discussing his contract situation at Man United, and he did say, that a new contract is not his priority at the moment. His priority is leading the club to long-term success. And he did mention that the team are going places under his management. Ollie, I think, is more than halfway through his 3-year deal. Ollie has managed over 100 games as Manchester United manager in all competitions. But this season has been up and down, hasn't it? We've had some good results and we've also had bad results. The good results obviously came against West Ham last week, beat them 3-1. We had a good result against Southampton, beat them 3-2, overcame a 2-goal deficit. Had a good result against Everton, beat them 3-1. Had a good result against RB Leipzig at Old Trafford, beat them 5-0. Had a good result in Paris, beat them 2-1. So they are some of the good results, and the bad results obviously came against Crystal Palace on the opening day, lost to them 3-1. Bad result against Tottenham, lost to them 6-1. Bad result against Arsenal, lost to them 1-0. We had a bad result against Istanbul Başakşehir in Turkey, lost to them 2-1. Obviously had a bad result against RB Leipzig, lost to them 3-2. So there you go. We have been very, very poor at Old Trafford this season. We've only won one game in the league at Old Trafford this season, and that was the 1-0 win against West Brom, and we was very fortunate to win that. We've won 2 games at Old Trafford in all competitions because we beat RB Leipzig by 5-0. We've only scored once from open play at home, so I think we have been enjoying our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Away from home, though, we've actually been good. We've won our last 9 away games in a row in the league. We haven't lost away from home in the league since January, So we've gone almost a year now without losing away from home in the league. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager, and I did say, didn't I, this was always going to be a big season for him. And I think for him to remain Manchester United manager, he's got to get his top 4 finish and he's got to win a trophy this season. And there's a good chance we could win a trophy this season, and I think he's also got to improve our performances and his decision making, and that's got to improve. You know what I mean? In the last 8 years, Manchester United have been playing catch up. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won that now for like 8 years. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson left. That was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Mourinho. So that just indicates how inconsistent we've been. We've brought around 36 players in since Ferguson left, and we've spent over £1 billion on them. Under the David Moyes era, we brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Under Louis Van Gaal era, we must have brought a good 14, 15 players in, something like that. We brought the likes of Schneidlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, they're still here, Ander Herrera, Sergio Romero, Victor Valdez. So they're the players we brought in under Louis Van Gaal. And under Jose Mourinho, we brought 11 players into the football club. A lot of players are still here from the Jose Mourinho era. Jose Mourinho obviously brought Lee Grant in, he brought Delo in, he brought Lindelof in, he brought Bay in, he brought Fred in, he brought Pogba in, he brought Sanchez in, he brought Mkhitaryan in, he brought Lukaku in, he brought Ibrahimovic in, he brought Matic in. So yeah, these are the players Jose Mourinho brought in. And people say, reflect on the money we've spent, we should be much more of a commanding position than we're in. I think we're sitting now, is it 8th or 9th in the league? 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was David Moyes, Louis Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has brought around 10 senior players in since he got appointed in as Man United manager. Obviously, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Traore should be joining the football club in January. We obviously got 4 of those players on deadline day in the summer transfer window. So Ollie's spent over £200 million at the football club, hasn't he? We've obviously seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. You know, Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season. Obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. Obviously got us 3rd place and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. We're obviously no longer in now though, the Champions League, which is a disappointment. So we are now back in the Europa League. And Solskjaer, in a lot of the big games, showed a lot of tactical flexibility. We've enjoyed some good periods under him as well. You know, we're unbeaten now in our last, 5 league games. Went on the 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, don't forget as well. But the club have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6-7 years or something like that, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. You know, we haven't had a title-winning team for like 6 years, have we? But yeah. Our next game is Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. That is on Thursday, 8 o'clock kickoff. Manchester United should be winning that game. Sheffield United have been abysmal this season, sitting bottom of the league. They haven't even won a game yet in the league this season. They've registered 1 point from 12 games. Sheffield United recently lost 3-0 to Southampton. I'm surprised really because Sheffield United did very, very well last season. Didn't they finish like 8th or 9th? You know, I think Chris Wilder's going to end up getting sacked. He's enjoyed a good 4 years or so now at Sheffield United. You know, before he was at Sheffield United, he was at Northampton. He's been at Oxford before, hasn't he? He's been at Halifax and he's been at Alfred Town. Obviously, the game at Bramall Lane last season was 3-3. Don't forget, we overcame a 2-goal deficit in that game because we was 2-0 down at one point. We're beating them at Old Trafford though by 3-0. Anthony Martial had scored a hat-trick. So we've got to be beating Sheffield United. You know, we drew our last league game against Manchester City 0-0. You know, some Man United fans were disappointed. Maybe some Man United fans were happy with the point. You know. But yeah, we have to beat Sheffield United. You know, we've got a big game on Sunday against Leeds at Old Trafford. That's going to be the first meeting between Man United and Leeds in the Premier League since 2004. Then after that, it's Everton in the Carabao Cup. That's going to be a pretty tough game. Then Leicester on Boxing Day, that's going to be a tough game as well. So games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. Now, like I've said to you, we have got good players in our team. You know, I think Bruno Fernandes is a very, very good player. He's Manchester United's best player and is the best signing we've made since Sir Alex Ferguson era. In the vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' games, he has been very, very consistent. There's only been the odd couple of games where he has looked off the pace. I think Bruno Fernandes' worst game in a Manchester United shirt was the Istanbul Başakşehir game when we lost 2-1 in Turkey because he was dispossessed 34 times. Yeah, nearly a year now Fernandes has been with us. He won Player of the Month for November. He's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Scored a lot of goals for Man United. Let's be honest though, the vast majority of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Obviously, he's provided assists as well. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. I've also got to say that Donny van der Beek is very, very good. Now, he's enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. I don't actually understand why Donny van der Beek didn't play any part against City. I don't know why. He didn't start against RB Leipzig last week, but he did come on, and as soon as he came on, Ollie reverted to a back four. He started against West Ham the other week. That was his second start in the Premier League for Man United, and he made his full Premier League debut for the club in our 3-2 win against Southampton. We paid £40 million for him from Ajax, but he is more effective in a deeper role, is Donny van der Beek. So you can put him in number 10, and you can also put him out wide. Now, I think also Fred's good. Not world class, but he's a good player because he has enjoyed good games this season. I thought he did pretty well against Manchester City, did Fred. Fred obviously didn't play against RB Leipzig last week because he was suspended because he got sent off in our 3-1 defeat to PSG. Didn't he? Because he received 2 yellow cards. He didn't play against West Ham the other week as well. We paid £47 million for Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk. I think also too Luke Shaw is good when he wants to be. Luke Shaw was good against Man City. He really was. I liked the way he put them crosses into the box from the set pieces. He kept City's winners quiet for the vast majority of the game, and defensively did all right. Luke Shaw's just come back from a hamstring problem. That's my element of concern about Luke Shaw. He's just far too injury prone. He had a couple of periods out of injury last season. This is probably why Brandon Williams was getting a lot of chances last season. But Luke Shaw's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at Manchester United. Now, I think Alex Telles is good. He's enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. He was poor though against RB Leipzig. That was his first poor game as a Manchester United player. We got Alex Telles in a deal worth £15.4 million. I also think Harry Maguire, he's good when he wants to be. In the games he has played well in this season, he's been very effective in the air. He showed that ability to play out from the back. He's threaded good long balls through. But he's also enjoyed poor games as Harry Maguire. He certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we paid for him. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. And he's our current captain. Don't forget he had early season troubles. Wan-Bissaka, I think he's also a good player. Wan-Bissaka has enjoyed good games this season, where he's got in decent positions, he's put good crosses into the box. Don't forget he scored his first goal for Man United in our 4-1 win against Newcastle earlier on this season. That was also a good result I forgot to mention as well. That was earlier on this season. But Wan-Bissaka's worst game in a Manchester United shirt was the 3-2 loss to RB Leipzig. There has been some games where he's looked too exposed, like at the weekend against City. Bissaka weren't that good because he was caught out by Jesus and Raheem Sterling. But we have got reservations about his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. This is Wan-Bissaka's second season at the club. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. Eric Bailly's good when he plays. He has just come back from muscle injury not so long ago, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly, he's too injury prone. Eric Bailly's enjoyed a good 4 years or so at Man United. We paid £30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016. Marcus Rashford, he's obviously very, very good. He's enjoyed very good games this season. He's enjoyed obviously some poor games as well. I don't think he was brilliant against Manchester City. Didn't really have that end product. But in general, he has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Marcus Rashford's more effective out wide than he is centrally. That's my opinion. Rashford has been part of the club for several years. Not so long ago, he did have a shoulder problem. Mason Greenwood's also a good player as well. He's done well recently. I don't think he was brilliant against City though, but he was good against RB Leipzig and he was good against West Ham the other week. Got his name on the score sheet. Greenwood's obviously had off-field issues this season. Obviously he's had injuries and obviously he was out with illness at one point. But Ollie's been defending Greenwood a lot this season. Obviously, Edison Cavani's good. You know, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Anthony Martial is a good player for Man United, but obviously hasn't been good this season. He has been out of form. I just don't think Anthony Martial's been clinical enough. Pogba's good when he wants to be, and to Paul Pogba's credit, he has done well recently. You know, so there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.